Thank you for joining us today. My name is Leah Daly. I am the Senior Director of Education at Travel Leaders Network, an Internova Travel Group company. Today, we have some great insights to share in this third session of the series, Economics of Owning a Travel Business. Each month, we will release a new segment, as you see here. Today, we're doing Building Blocks of a Better Travel Business, the economics and profits first. Today, we have Terry Brennan, Senior Vice President of Travel Leaders Vacation Center, Cheryl Strum, co-founder of R. Caruso & Sons, and Jason Oshopikai, Managing Director of the Global Travel Collection in the UK. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Let's talk a little bit.
Pleasure to be here, Leah.
Great, thanks, guys. Let's talk a little bit about the economics and the importance of profits and when considering owning a travel business. Terry, can you talk a little bit about setting aside your profit account, your operations account, and really what that means for our audience?
Certainly. We're the classic small business, and kind of the old philosophy used to be you pay your employees, then you pay your suppliers, and if there's anything left, then you pay yourself. And these days, to define success is, my philosophy is, you pay your most valuable employee first, which is yourself. So when you write your business plan, you really have to build in a fee structure and an income structure so that you pay yourself first and you keep your business profitable and solid and continue to build it. And sometimes it takes an investment to build it, and you want to make sure you have those funds in reserve. So when there's good investments to be made, you can do it.
Fantastic. I love that. Pay yourself first. It is a change in where we originally started in this industry a long time ago, but it's very important for owning the business. Terry, also with economics of owning a travel business, and we know that growing your business, you must gain more business. What are some suggestions on where to start and when looking for gaining more business?
Well, Leah, the tendency is everybody is just do vacation business. And in reality, there's thousands of small companies out there that would love your help and your expertise. So one thing you should really consider is getting into the corporate travel business and handling business travel. And then for those same clients, you can handle their company meetings, their incentive trips, and a lot of other things. The big benefit of being part of the Travel Leaders Network is to do business travel. It requires some assets and some tools, and the Travel Leaders Network gives you the access to those at a very reasonable rate. Like, for example, you need an online booking tool, you need quality control software, you need reporting software, and then access to 24-hour reservations. And all of those are available through the Travel Leaders Network. And plus, there's a lot of help to get those set up and get them activated and put them into practice.
Thank you, Terry. This moves us into marketing and sales for a travel business. And Cheryl, I know you have a great big background in marketing. Can you talk a little bit about marketing versus sales in business and what that might look like for our audience to understand?
Sure. So marketing, of course, is building awareness for the product, and sales is more about closing the deal. And when I think about marketing and travel, I think what's really important, because travel is such a big topic, is focus. I think your product has to be focused, and the customers that you're going after have to be a target market and focused. And so how do we segment the market? What does that look like? Well, I think you could talk about what Terry was just talking about. Do you want to focus on business travel or leisure travel? Do you want to divide the market domestic travel or international? Do you want to divide in age? Do you want to do groups of school kids? Do you want to do adult groups? individuals, couples, groups of friends. So think about who your market is, and then think about what product you'd like to market and how do you distinguish that product? Do you distinguish it through your expertise? Are you an expert in a certain destination? Do you distinguish yourself with offering convenience to your clients? Because time ultimately is the most precious resource. So I think it's very important to be very clear about your goals.
Fabulous. That gives us lots of great insight into marketing and potential business out there, and really time is one of those main factors now in why so many people are reaching out to travel advisors, as well as all of the things that have come up in most recent during the pandemic. And what country would I be able to visit? And how do I get there? Or visas, do I need a visa to get into that? So really smart in looking at, where you fit in and how you market out there. Can you talk a little bit though, also about sales? Where does sales fit in?
I think once you have someone on the line and they're thinking about you and using your service and buying your product, then the question is, how do you close the deal? And often that's a person, book human, being connected with a human being, a travel professional. I think being able to demonstrate your expertise and your ability to help, being responsive. I think ultimately it goes back to those old-fashioned sales techniques of person-to-person contact.
Fantastic. To complement and drive more business with which both Terry and Cheryl spoke to, is there a factor of branding, Jason? Is there ways to brand yourself that would be really important for the audience to know?
Absolutely. Thanks, Leah. And I got to say, I completely support the point that Terry made about paying yourself first, making yourself a priority. And also to Cheryl's point in terms of sales and marketing and really what the distinction is between the two. For the independent advisor model, whereas you're effectively the business owner or the entrepreneur, your personal and your professional brand are absolutely vital to success. It really defines who you are and what does your company stand for. And it's an interesting dynamic as a business owner in travel, where oftentimes your personal and your professional brands are almost one and the same. And to bring clarity to that, if you're a person that's known to be late or perhaps a little disorganized, it becomes really difficult to persuade a potential client who knows you that actually your business is going to be on time and you're going to be organized. So those are some things I would say to keep in mind. When I think about what the fundamental questions to think about, one of them would be, what do you want your brand to be known for? What are the characteristics or traits of your brand that mean the most to you? And I think a lot of times you're building a business, but what is a business? It's a collection of people that are providing goods and services to a client. And this is an interesting one. If you were to poll your existing clients or even a potential new pool of clients, how would they describe your brand that you've built? And how does that brand relate to them? So would your client recommend you to other people? And in industry-wide, this is known as something called a Net Promoter Score, a likelihood to recommend. And I think it's super important. And if you were to ask the question, well, why is it important? Simply put, the most successful independent travel advisors have arguably built up fantastic businesses on the basis of referral and strong endorsements. And in business, there is nothing better than a trusted referral. It means that your brand is considered respected and trustworthy. When you look at the luxury travel space, in hospitality, and two names that come to my mind, but there are several others, the Four Seasons or the Peninsulas, those brands automatically speak to high touch, a standard of excellence, of class, as it relates to a customer experience and really the traveler experience. And depending on which area of travel that you wish to service, the foundation of any successful business is going to be service, responsiveness, expertise. And not just about the destination, but really all the things that go along the travel journey, from the research of travel all the way to and hopefully when the client arrives home safely. And lastly, to answer your question about how do you earn positive brand recognition, whether it be with a key client or potentially a key partner or supplier, I'd say it's to be the best you can with every single interaction you have with your stakeholder, making every interaction matter. Because as you start to do that over time, what are you reinforcing? Consistency, confidence. And a lot of times, you can do a lot of things right, but when something goes wrong, that's typically when things go bad. But in fact, if you have a strong track record of performance, your clients are going to be forgiving because we're humans and we're imperfect. And I would say, a lot of times admitting you don't know something, but showing a commitment and a determination to find out or to create resolution, I think those are oftentimes the greatest things that create a great bond with a brand. And personally, I think, a brand is something that lives outside of you and it permeates, and it ties into the whole notion of referral and getting other people to want to entrust their business with you.
Thank you, Jason. And that brought several thoughts to mind. Within Internova, we have lots of education, and we actually really hone in on this as far as, what you were saying about Four Seasons and having that consistent, experience when you go there. You know what to expect, but you also want to have that consistent experience with a travel advisor as well. And a lot of that is just having your processes in place and being concise and knowing your resources, where to go find those answers. And just like you said, I don't know, but I'm going to go find out for you. And there's a lot of that right now, just based on, pandemic and countries opening and countries maybe closing a little bit, back up a little bit. Even Hawaii has had a lot of changes. But, we have resources, and Internova actually supports all of those advisors through this difficult time. So really important for those processes to be in place, get all the education that you can, and you'll be, successful in looking at gaining more business right now. Internova Travel Group represents more than 62,000 travel advisors worldwide and ranks as one of the industry's largest travel services companies. At Internova Travel Group, we have various business units that might speak directly to your needs. Please visit our website, www.internova.com, to learn more about owning your own travel business or joining one of our great business units and becoming that force in travel. Please join us next month in Economics of Owning a Travel Business, where we will speak to the topic of measuring success. How do you rate success? Thank you for listening today. See you next time on this channel of Travel Talk with Internova.